What's up? This your boy Carcino here. And let's talk about it. Y'all remember the beef between Eminem and Mase murder? Well, I remember back in the days. And back in the days, things were a little bit different. When Mase was taking over the rap world and just doing his thing, because the avenue was left there after the void of Biggie, and immediately Mase jumped into the spotlight. If it wasn't him and Puff doing their side by side little back and forth that they were doing on the Bad Boy mix, if it wasn't for those things, Mase wouldn't have been noticed. The more money, more problems, the way they dressed alike, can't nobody hold us down, so Mase was coming up. His style of delivery, his writing, he was one of the top rap artists at the time. And for a whole year, he was the hottest thing going. Everybody had to have a Mase flow. Man, I gotta do the Mase flow, the slow flow, like Mase. But the underground MCs, they was like, man, that's fake. That's fake hip hop. And, naturally, underground always hated mainstream. So if you was mainstream, you was the target. And Eminem, at this time in '97, was still trying to get his, cassette tapes to demo makers and everything else to put his stuff out. So he dissed all the pop acts, like pop rappers, and Mase was always the butt of his jokes. So Mase to be in a rap, and all these other people that were popular in the hip hop world, he could make fun of them while he's dissing and doing freestyle. Now, people will say, well, no way would people hold on to a grudge like that, or Mase wouldn't even pay attention to things like that. Well, down the road, Mase decided to go on a whole new path, lost a lot of friends in the process. Eminem emerges. And Eminem decided to get all the way to the top. Now, during this process, there was a discrepancy with Eminem when he first came into the scene with Bad Boy Entertainment and everything. And they were like, man, we love Big, we got love for Big and this and that. And he was more of a fan of Puffy and Biggie and Tupac, and like, oh, I love them all. He was very humble to these guys. But they were acting like they were mega stars, and that he wasn't. So that when Mase came back into the rap game with Welcome Back, and Mase was coming back, it was like almost comical to them, especially to Eminem, when they were like, Mase is back with this Welcome Back thing. So it was like when they asked Eminem about it, he was like, wow, I just don't know. Like, he thought of it as a joke, like Mase was like a joke of an artist. And that's how Mase took it. So Mase was like, well, Eminem would normally be punched in his face. So they had a award party for like one of those parties where Chris Lighty was hosting for Violator. And they had all the Violator people there, the crew, and Mase was there. He showed up, and they was getting out there for Welcome Back and all this stuff. So anyway, they was talking about him at the party, about doing a song, trying to get Eminem to work with a song. And Mase is like, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. Mase wouldn't do a song with Eminem. It's like, what? Why wouldn't you do a song with Eminem? And he just like, we don't fit. And he just like, the things of what I do and what he do is two different things. And I just don't think it'll be a good fit, me and him working together. So they were like, wow. Never heard anybody people were trying to work to make that happen for you, and you downplaying him as if like you're on top of the world. He was very delusional when he came back for Welcome Back. He thought like, oh, I was #1 when I left, so I'm #1 when I come back. You know, people gonna be like, man, why you ain't do the Mase voice? I don't think I ever did Mase voice, but I tried. You know, I'm sitting out there every day here with everybody. I'm the reason they made the Just Cause. You can say it now when I'm in my first cause. So, Eminem was like, didn't care nothing else less about it. So, that's done. Now that's water under the bridge. He has no more problems with Mase and all of this stuff. Things go, you know, the way they're going. All of a sudden, Welcome Back doesn't work. Now, the failure of that album, he's like, I gotta get out away from Puff. I can't do this Cream Puff stuff no more. I gotta go back to being Mase. Murder. I need to get with 50 and what they doing with G-Unit. Now, this was all a little jab at Puffy with Jimmy Iovine wanting to take Mase away from Puff and put him with 50 because he couldn't put him with Eminem. That wasn't going to work. So putting him with 50, he was like, I just want to see it done. You know, I'll put the money up and then you can have all the, you know, the back end money. I just want to see this happen. I want to see this movement. So they were going to do the deal to Puff start seeing like, wait a minute, I'm seeing something might not be right here, and I don't want to sign off on something where it's going to blow up in my face. So he's kind of having second ideas, or second thoughts about doing the deal. So once that happened and he pulled out, you know, 50 had already put all his money up and was like, look, you better run me my money, man. I ain't playing. Because now you done made me look stupid. Because people didn't even want to see it. Like, people, like, 50's like, look, I'm not dying to have Mase. You know, I was going to get paid a substantial amount of money for putting Mase with G-Unit. You just blew that. Like, everybody was like, what is this even about? Even Eminem was like, I think that's a bad move. Even for a tax write-off, I wouldn't just grab Mase like that. But after this was all said and done, you know, some magazine decided to do an interview with Mase and all this stuff, and they asked Mase, like, who do you think would be, you know, like the top MC, you know, the top 5 MCs in the world? And of course he said Biggie, Nas, and NWA and all those guys, but then he was like, what about Eminem? I was like, what about Eminem? He definitely wouldn't be in top 5. And he was just like, look, Eminem doing his fast rap flow and all that stuff he's doing, there's been MCs that's been doing that for years that's never been on TV. So like his style of rap has already been done. And all because he said that, everybody turned against Mase. Eminem was like, I'm going to destroy this man. Lyrically. Like, oh, I would destroy him lyrically. Does he think that's my style? I could use his flow and beat him with it. You know, so Em was upset. Once he heard that, he was like, I just want to put out a freestyle. They was like, do not diss Mase. Just whatever you do, don't diss Mase. And from what I've been told, he drops little hints and clues about it on his album. Which album was that? It's not on Marshall Mathers LP2. It's after that. Whatever. You know, it's supposed to be after that fact. Because ever since when Eminem dropped Rap God, he was like, oh, he's the best rapper of all time. But no one can do what Eminem can do. And Mase was like, oh my gosh, you people are so delusional when it comes to hip hop. So Mase is like would never put Eminem above him as far as a rap artist. Period. That's not gonna happen. But he definitely won't put him in top 5. He thinks it's blasphemous to put Eminem in that category when there's tons of artists that just didn't have the push Eminem had. And he went as far as, without saying it, is because of the color of Eminem's skin is why he's getting this big push. Which always ruffles Eminem's feathers, because Eminem is like, I couldn't get in the game because of my skin. I had the roughest road. If I was black spitting the way I was spitting, they'd be like, man, here's a record deal, here's this much money, here's everything you need, here's a Benz. So he's like, man, I'm spitting the way I'm spitting and I can't get a deal. But the fact that he was white and could spit like that, he was aware, okay, my skin is starting to pay off for me now. All right, cool, finally. Because before, I was broke. I'm just a broke white guy who could rap. So now the thing started to pay off for him. And he's like, you want me to be sorry for that? And then now I'm getting paid? I gotta apologize? So in his estimation, that's how he felt. But as far as him and Mase, they just creatively and personality wise, they don't mesh. They don't really like each other. You know, what everybody think he's holding on to those disses that Eminem did about him years ago. That may be true, but I think there's a lot of truth in what Mase is saying. So, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm out.